Let me please have your attention. Well, what an exciting group of people all around Arkansas that appreciate our natural heritage. Secretary Stacy Hurst is with me, and she will introduce a few of the different groups that are represented, but this means a lot to our state to see everybody excited and engaged in the announcement today. I want to thank Congressman French Hill for joining us as well, who's been a key partner and advocate for our nature areas across Arkansas and particularly here in central Arkansas. And I wanted to recognize the U.S. Forest Service partnership. Troy Heithiker. Troy, are you here?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you for back in the back. I'm glad I recognized you. And of course, the Nature Conservancy led by Scott Simon. Scott, back in the back. Well, thank you for being here. And of course, Dew Thompson, the chairman of the Nature Conservancy as well. And we have groups here representing different federal agencies as well as state partners and those of the private sector. And I just reflect back on what the outdoors of Arkansas has meant to me, both as a young person growing up, but then as a dad and now as a grandparent. And everybody has their favorites, and of course it's the Ozark Highlands Trail that I took all my boys on and my daughter every once in a while. But it was a special time for them, for me as a dad. And then to be able to expand that interest as governor to see the duck hunting territory and the flooded timber of Arkansas, to be able to go up to northern Arkansas to the Sunken Lands Water Trail that we dedicated in Poinsett County, and of course the historic Buffalo River Scenic River. This is exciting to see all that Arkansas has to offer, and we consider this Arkansas's treasure, but it's really, Arkansas is a national treasure when it comes to outdoor recreation. And so for that reason, I have a couple of announcements today. And the first announcement is that I'm announcing today the creation of the Arkansas Office of Outdoor Recreation. This will be, within the Department of Parks, Heritage, and Tourism. It will be a direct report to Secretary Hurst. The responsibility will be to coordinate our stewardship, our investments, and our marketing of the great outdoors so that it will be available in an expanded way to all of Arkansas, but also recognizing what this means to our nation and the economic opportunities it brings to our state. This office is created by an executive order, but also in addition to the office itself, I'm creating the Outdoor Recreation Advisory Board. And that will be composed up to 10 people to help guide the Office of Outdoor Recreation. And that office will be supported by existing revenues and positions, and so it will not be the creation of new bureaucracy or offices, but a focal point for the leadership of our outdoor recreation here in this state. I will be appointing up to 10 people for this advisory board. It's not all been completed yet, but there'll be private sector representatives that will help partner and help guide our outdoor recreation in the state. I did want to introduce Bill Barnes, Mike Mills, and Robin McClendon, who are here, I believe, and will be on that advisory board. Raise your hand if you're here. And then George Dunklin, I think I saw back here as well, that will be on it. George, thank you for your service on that. So that's one announcement, and that's exciting in and of itself, but we have another announcement related to our outdoor recreation. And this is personally very exciting to me, and that is that we are going to be adding Blue Mountain Natural Area, comprised of 459-acre tract west of Rattlesnake Ridge, to the outdoor recreation opportunities in Central Arkansas. And if you look on the map on the right, of course, it was a thrill of mine to go to Rattlesnake Ridge. You got Pinnacle Mountain, you got Rattlesnake Ridge, and then now you're adding to that Blue Mountain Natural Area that will give us all of the 3 peaks of the Pinnacle Mountain Range there as part of our natural heritage. And this could not have been done without the Nature Conservancy. Our partnership for Rattlesnake Ridge has continued now to the Blue Mountain Natural Area, so thank you to the Nature Conservancy. This acquisition has been approved by myself as is statutorily required, but also by the Natural Heritage Commission. And I know we have members of the commission that's here. If you would raise your hand, and let's give them a round of applause. Thank you all. The second part of the second announcement on recreation areas is that we have signed as a state a memorandum of understanding with the U.S. Forest Service that will allow the Division of State Parks to offer expanded recreation opportunities at Camp Ouachita and Lake Sylvia. And I know Secretary Hurst has worked very hard with the Forest Service to create this opportunity. I remember going out to Lake Sylvia. Congressman French Hill was there and has really led the effort from a national perspective that's been so critical to making this happen. But Lake Sylvia, Camp Ouachita can be utilized to a greater extent. Such a great natural area, and to have that managed and to be able to have the greater capability for services there to the public will allow that to be utilized in a greater way. And so I want to thank the U.S. Forest Service for your partnership in this. This is an exciting time for the state. Whenever you think about, what is it, $9 billion of economic benefit that comes from outdoor recreation, that is simply consumer spending in our state, 96,000 direct jobs that come from outdoor recreation, as well as just simply the pure benefit of hiking, fishing, camping, canoeing, bird watching, all down the list, whatever it is, the joy is there whenever we have such a blessed and natural state of Arkansas. And so now let me turn it over to Secretary Hurst for her comments, followed by our friend Congressman French Hill.
Thank you, Governor Hutchinson, for your continued belief in the opportunity we have related to outdoor recreation in Arkansas. Our state's remarkable natural beauty and the abundant access we enjoy to the out-of-doors make today's announcement a very welcome and important milestone. To date, 16 states in the USA have created an Office of Outdoor Recreation, or a task force, to work toward growing the outdoor recreation economy in their state. I'm pleased to say, Governor, that we are one of the first southern states to do so. Benefits include not just economic growth through increased tourism dollars or jobs, but improved health and wellness for residents and visitors. A vibrant outdoor recreation sector requires conservation and good stewardship of public lands and waters. It requires educating and engaging children in the outdoors. It requires strategic partnerships with businesses, different levels of government, and stakeholders that value the outdoor recreation industry. In a small, wonderful, collaborative state like ours, communication and partnerships are key. Speaking of partnerships, I would like to recognize just a few more people in the room. I think that this gathering, Governor, is reflective of the passion that we have for outdoor recreation. The State Parks Recreation and Travel Commission has several members here, including our chair, Kayleen Griffith. Would you please raise your hand? All of the commissioners, please raise your hand. Our state park staff are here. Our director, Grady Spann, and I believe our deputy director, Shay Lewis, are both here. Our agency director at Natural Heritage Commission is here, I believe, Bill Holloman. I'm also really pleased that staff and commissioners for the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, a very important partner, including the new executive director, Austin Booth. Please raise your hand. During the pandemic, we learned the importance of communication across the various levels of government. And I want to thank Mark Faust with the National Park Service. He is the superintendent at the Buffalo National River. It is an iconic place, and we appreciate his good work and for him being here today to show his support. Thank you so much. Blue Mountain and Lake Sylvia represent partnerships that will result in increased access for the public, sound conservation, and increased economic activity for Arkansas long term. With the remarkable natural assets we have in Arkansas, it only makes sense that we would carefully and deliberately maximize our opportunity to grow the outdoor economy in our state. We have all the tools to do so, and the governor's announcement today will immediately open the position of Director of Outdoor Recreation for Arkansas. We will conduct a search and hire a qualified candidate. Governor Hutchinson, thank you for this opportunity. We are eager to move forward on this important initiative. An elected official who has a sincere passion for conservation in the outdoors is Congressman French Hill. I have to say that Congressman Hill brought to my attention the opportunity at Lake Sylvia and connected me with the U.S. Forest Superintendent, Troy, and we appreciate it. And Congressman, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Well, Governor, thank you for your leadership persistently over all these years to make Arkansas truly the natural state. You've done more than your share along the way, and Secretary Hurst, what a pleasure to partner with you on this. I have to congratulate Austin Booth publicly for being our new Director of Arkansas Game and Fish. He's traded a Marine Corps uniform for the Game and Fish uniform, and I can't think of a more deserving person to come be a leader in our state. Austin and I first met inside the Green Zone in Kabul, Afghanistan on his deployment there, so I think the world of him and glad to see that. It's good to see Mark Faust here from Buffalo National River, and Troy, great to see you in the back, and all friends. I wanted to say this is a landmark day because Arkansans that are coming to experience the natural state, some want to be and have a Mount Magazine experience or a Pettigene experience. Others want to have truly a more rugged experience, and this edition of Lake Sylvia and Blue Mountain contribute to that portfolio for our natural resources. And it's exciting to me. This gives Troy, this is a game changer for those of us that use the Lake Sylvia area year-round. Like, we can now go to the restroom in the winter. This is very, very exciting to us in a restroom. And so that's terrific, and it's great for the walk-in turkey hunters. It's great for the hikers. It's great for the mountain bikers. It's great for the Ouachita Trail through hikers, and great for those families that celebrated one of the nicest picnic areas in the state. So we appreciate our friends at the Ouachita National Forest. You know, Arkansas is famous for its chickens, but you should know twice as many jobs in our state are due to outdoor recreation than the poultry production industry. And the governor outlined those impressive statistics about just how important this is for our state. I want to talk about some of the federal resources that go into the partnership here, working with our governor, Secretary Hurst, and our nonprofit conservation agencies and the federal partners. Last year, President Trump signed into law the Great American Outdoors Act in August last year. This act contained the key components in conservation management that have been worked on for years. First of all, this law allocates $1.9 billion annually for 5 years to chip away at Mark and Troy's big challenge, which is a capital expenditure budget deficit for maintenance in our national parks and our national forests of over $12 billion. And we're grateful that the President signed that into law. Secondly, it expands the Land and Water Conservation Fund to about $900 million per year. This fund was created back in 1964 in order to partner in the preservation of key lands and park sites around the country. And to bring it home here in Arkansas, the Nature Conservancy has used it 10 times here in Arkansas to preserve key places, leveraging some $176 million in resources to protect places in the Ouachita and Ozark St. Francis National Forests, the Cache River National Wildlife Refuge, and of course our beloved Buffalo National River. And it's important for everybody to recognize, how do we get the Land and Water Conservation Fund? It comes from an all-of-the-above energy policy that allows royalties earned on federal lands to go back into conservation. So I always want to make that point, and we're grateful for those opportunities of development that allow us to also do preservation. The House last year also voted for Recovering America's Wildlife Act. And in my view, that was a good bill. I supported it. It was attached to last year's Surface Transportation Act, which didn't get over the goal line. But I think it will be reintroduced this year. I expect a strong bipartisan support for it. And that allows money to be used by our state fish and wildlife agencies that here the Arkansas Game and Fish will be a principal beneficiary. And finally, America's Conservation Enhancement Act, which goes to protecting our wetlands. And we have George Dunklin here, former president of Ducks Unlimited, who has guided that for 3 decades. And it's a point of pride for me because I got to work for President George Bush 41, and it was in that administration that we made the pledge of no net loss of wetlands, and this conservation program is essential for that. Bruce Westerman, Congressman from the 4th District, and Bruce is leading our Natural Resources Committee in the House now. We're so grateful to have the only forester in the Congress be from Arkansas and lead, as for the Republicans, the Natural Resources Committee. We took a tour with DU over at Hurricane Lake area in White County of the problems we're having in water conservation there to protect our wildlife areas. And so this fund will directly benefit DU and private sector funding that helps our duck hunting be maintained as the best around the world. And I would be remiss if I didn't, in my final remarks, Stacy, thank you and the governor for supporting our efforts to expand Flatside Wilderness Area in Perry County, which also was signed into law by President Trump. We're proud that that addition was named for Ed Bethune, my predecessor, who did such an outstanding job in 1984 in helping pass the wilderness areas in our state that we credit now, that we're so grateful for his leadership 30 years ago. And it seems only fitting that we recognize Ed out at Flatside Pinnacle. So Stacy, thanks for your leadership. This is going to be great for outdoor recreation in our state, and the federal government's proud to partner with the state of Arkansas.
With that, would take any questions from the media, or they'll be available afterwards. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, do you have like either a dollar amount or percentage amount increase of an estimate of this economic growth that you're hoping to see with the creation of all these offices and additions?
Well, in terms of economic benefit and increased tourism or outdoor recreation, I do not have an estimate as to what this would mean in terms of the increase. It's going to mean increased coordination, marketing, a greater ability to conserve, and I have confidence that that will bring a benefit and a return. In terms of this recreation, Stacy, you might want to comment on that, but I think without any doubt, when we put in Rattlesnake Ridge, I hear people talk about that regularly, about visiting there and being a part of it, and I have no doubt that that will continue to expand at Blue Mountain. But Stacy, you have anything to add there?
I don't have anything specific, but I can tell you that during the pandemic, we have seen both at state parks and at the federal lands, I think Mark can say the same thing, a robust increase in visitation. And where we lost money during 2020 in our cash receipts because of reduced lodging, we have caught up and we are very strong. Our tourism tax returns are looking very strong. So definitely people are coming to Arkansas for the access to the outdoors. So we feel confident that this will help the economy grow in Arkansas.
Do you find it more important to
Go ahead.
Do you find it more important to continue this expansion and pour money into the outdoor facilities after COVID-19 and more people just getting outside and enjoying that?
The answer is yes. From a mental health standpoint, from a wellness standpoint, all of that has been emphasized as to its need through this pandemic. But it's not just the fact that we here in Arkansas need these outlets, it's also about the east and west parts of our country. The more populated areas are looking for more rural, natural areas in which they can live or they can enjoy. So I expect this to continue to expand and provide opportunity. I think it's been increased as a result of the pandemic. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a salary range for the new person that's going to be brought in to head the outdoor Office of Recreation?
Secretary Hurst will follow up with you afterwards and see if we have some details on that. And with that, Congressman Hill, I'm sure, will be available. Secretary Hurst will be available if there's ever any other questions. I've got to make a sojourn because I have to testify in Congress, so I need to, I'm sorry, French, on the Senate side. But anyway, with that, we'll stay at adjourn, and thank everybody for being a part of this important announcement today.
Appreciate you. Great job. Appreciate you so much.